Okay, let's dive into the definitive guide on electronic data interchange, or EDI. Now, if you're anywhere near retail, e-commerce, or logistics, you know this isn't just some technical jargon. It is the invisible engine of modern commerce. It's the language that lets the entire supply chain actually speak to each other.
You know, for most businesses, the journey into EDI doesn't start with some big strategic meeting. Nope. It starts with a letter, a mandate, a message from a major retail partner that pretty much says, in no uncertain terms, get on board with this or you're out.
And we are not talking about small-time players here. We're talking about the absolute titans of retail. Walmart, Target, Nordstrom, you name it. For them and for so many others, EDI is not a nice-to-have, it is the absolute price of admission to get into their massive supply chains. It's the baseline for even doing business.
And if you get this wrong, well, the stakes are incredibly high. We're talking about direct hits to your wallet from chargebacks, serious disruptions to your cash flow from delayed payments, and just plain lost revenue from canceled orders. Even worse, it can permanently wreck your relationship with your most important customers. And yeah, it can even get your contract terminated.
So why is this whole thing non-negotiable? It all comes down to one word: scale. The global third-party logistics market is on its way to hitting $1.3 trillion by 2026. And get this, 94% of those providers are already using EDI. At that kind of volume, trying to do things manually doesn't just slow you down, it completely breaks the system. EDI is the only language that can handle that level of complexity.
So what exactly is this system that's powering the entire retail world? Let's pull back the curtain and get right to the core of what EDI actually is and, more importantly, what it does.
At its heart, EDI is the computer-to-computer exchange of business documents in a standard format. But honestly, the most important part of this whole slide is that last little phrase, without human intervention. This is not about emailing a PDF. It's not about sending a spreadsheet. It's about your system talking directly to your partner's system automatically with nobody in the middle.
And this right here shows you the huge shift. On the left, you've got the old manual world. It's chaotic, it's full of errors, it's slow, and you have no idea what's going on. Then, on the right, you have EDI automation, a clean, validated, and incredibly fast pipeline of data with total visibility. It's the difference between flying blind and having a real-time command center for your entire supply chain.
Okay, so now let's see how this all works in the real world. We're going to follow a single order from start to finish as it moves through a typical EDI workflow.
Think of it like a 4-step digital handshake. It all kicks off with an EDI 850. That's the purchase order. Your system gets it, and then boom, automatically sends back an 855 to acknowledge you got the order. Once it ships, you send an 856, the advanced ship notice, which is critical for the retailer's warehouse. And finally, you send the 810 invoice to get paid. See? Each document just triggers the next one, like a perfectly automated set of dominoes.
And look, this automated logic doesn't just stop between you and the retailer. Oh no. When you've got a third-party warehouse or a 3PL involved, a whole other set of documents gets in on the action. You send your warehouse an EDI 940, the shipping order, and they send back a 945, the shipping advice, to confirm it's out the door. It's the exact same seamless, standardized conversation, just extended to every single partner in your fulfillment chain.
So you get the what and the why, but how do you actually make the connection? How do you plug your system into this huge network and start speaking the language?
Okay, this is a really crucial point. This isn't some battle between old tech and new tech. EDI and modern APIs are not competitors, they're collaborators. EDI is the undisputed champ for those big, high-volume, standard documents like purchase orders and invoices. APIs, on the other hand, are perfect for those quick, real-time lookups, like checking live inventory on your website. A truly modern supply chain needs to use both.
Now, for the vast majority of businesses, the answer is not to go build all this stuff from scratch. That would be a nightmare. That's where EDI providers come in. Think of them as a universal translator. They sit right in the middle between your system and your partner's system, and they handle all the complicated mapping, translation, and all those tricky compliance rules for you.
All right, now let's talk about the good stuff, the payoff. Because once you get past that initial mandate, you're going to realize that EDI isn't just a cost you have to swallow. It's a massive operational upgrade that gives you a serious competitive edge.
Let's just start with speed. By automating this entire data exchange, EDI can speed up your business cycles by as much as 61%. I mean, think about it. Processes that used to take days of back-and-forth emails and someone typing in numbers now get done in minutes. That's an absolute game changer. And this chart really tells the story on accuracy. We all know manual data entry is full of human error. Typos, switched numbers, you've seen it all. Well, EDI just wipes out 30 to 40% of those transaction errors. That means fewer wrong shipments, fewer invoice arguments, and way fewer of those expensive chargebacks.
And the direct cost savings? They're just as big. Take a look at the cost to process just one invoice. Doing it manually, with labor, paper, all of it, it's about £24. With EDI, that cost just plummets to £2.70. That's almost a 90% drop. Now multiply that by thousands of invoices, and you can see how that really impacts your bottom line. So all of this leads to a really crucial decision: choosing the right partner to get you there. You absolutely need a provider that has deep experience in retail compliance, someone who's already connected to your key partners. They have to be able to plug right into your existing systems, offer a solution that can grow with you, and, of course, have amazing support for when you need help.
Ultimately, this all brings us back to one final thought. You might start this whole EDI journey because someone sent you a mandate, but very, very quickly, you'll see the truth. EDI isn't just some hurdle you have to clear. It's a strategic weapon for building a faster, a more accurate, and a more profitable business. The real question isn't whether you can afford to do it, it's whether you can afford not to.